Good morning, everybody. Jessica Carter here. And I'm back in this book. So if you watched my last video, it was on this book, The Yamas and Niyamas. So this is the Exploring Yoga's Ethical Practices. So I think most of you know that I am in training to become a yoga teacher. And I'm super excited about it. And I graduate in December, but we have homework every week. And one of them is to read chapters from the Yamas and the Niyamas. And this is my favorite. I love all my yoga homework, but this book is amazing. So it's things I've never thought about, I feel like. So chapter 3 is on non-stealing and some ways that we are stealing from ourselves. And I think we've probably heard one of these ways, but maybe not heard the other side of it. So there's this thing about comparison and how we're not supposed to compare ourselves with each other. And you've probably heard the term compare and despair. So when we look at somebody else and see what they have, we're like sad, oh, why don't I have that? Why don't I deserve that kind of thing? Hi, Uncle Scott. But on the other side of it, if we compare to other people and we're like, oh, well, I'm doing better than them, I'm doing better than they are, I'm better doing than they are, then we also find ourselves superior, and that can lead us to feeling arrogant. So neither of those are good things, so we should just try to not compare ourselves with other people. So when people talk about something, and I have two examples, and if you can think of another example that you did and you didn't notice that you were doing that, let me know. Because for me, John and I were talking about this and we didn't really notice that we were doing this. So if somebody talks about a trip and so they're like, oh, I'm going to Paris, it's not appropriate for me to say, oh my gosh, this is what we did to our trip to Paris. And I think I was kind of like thinking, oh, we have a common bond and we could, connect and we could both talk about Paris, but that's kind of taking away from their trip. So, oh, tell me what you're going to do there. Oh, that sounds amazing. Those kind of things. So really making it about them and listening to them, because as soon as I bring up that I've been to Paris, it makes it about me. And on a similar side, if someone says a tragedy, so when John and I were talking about this, when somebody says, oh, my dad died, his common response would be, oh, I understand what you're going through. My dad just died. But all of a sudden it makes it about him. And neither of us really knew that we were doing this. So we both apologize if we've done this to you and we weren't a good listening ear. But that's a way to steal from another person. That was their time, and it was our time to be a listener then and just be there for them. So it says, be a forklift, always lifting people up, which I loved. So stealing from ourselves. So we might know that we do this in the way of self-sabotage. So maybe we're getting really close to a goal, or we're thinking about changing jobs and doing something that we really love, and it's getting a little scary, and so we just sabotage that and make it where we can't go through with that. So that's a way that we can steal from each other. From ourselves. Lack of belief in ourselves is a way to steal from ourselves. Obviously, low self-esteem, judgment on yourself, criticism of yourself, and demands of accomplishment. So these are all ways that we can steal really joy and just steal from ourselves when we should be loving ourselves and giving ourselves grace. And in the last video, if you watch, if we're not loving ourselves and giving ourselves grace, other people are feeling that on them, even though you're not directing that on them. So that was something else that was kind of crazy. So then the next one, and this is a big one for me. So we are in a culture where our identity is linked to accomplishments. And when we accomplish something, we tend to not take time to just be grateful and celebrate that and praise ourselves and really, feel what that means and feel the wonderfulness of it. We're like, okay, what's next? And we just always are moving to the next accomplishment or the next goal. So this was pretty cool. So, they were talking about in the book, they were talking about elephants when they do a parade, they get so fancy and they have the beautiful jewels and the beautiful silk But as they're walking down the street, they want everybody else's treats. And so they're like, oh, peanuts, that looks good. Oh, a drink. Oh, I'll take that. And they'll just start taking everything from everybody else because they want what everybody else has, even though they're decked out and they're the star of the show. Good morning, Marla. And so what they were saying was if they will hold a bamboo shoot in their trunk, and so they're just holding their bamboo shoot proudly, they don't look side to side and they don't take things from other people. So for us, that's our dream. That's our goal. So what's your bamboo shoot? And I would love to know your bamboo shoot. So when you have your bamboo shoot and you're focusing on your dream and your goal, you're not looking right and left and wanting what everybody else has and really getting distracted from your dream and your goal and not feeling cheated that somebody else has it and you haven't gotten it yet. So, another side of that is we do need to be grateful for what we have. So the way that they word it, and so what it says is be savvy with what you do have. I want to read it the way that they word it because I really like it. It demands that we become good stewards of what we've asked for. So if it's money, we need to be good with the little bit of money that we have, or we're not going to be trusted with more money. So think about if you gave a gift to your child, and this might have happened, and they took it out and they left it in the rain and it got ruined. Does that make you want to give them a more expensive present the next time when they weren't taking care of that present? So it's the same kind of thing as we have to be good stewards and be grateful for what we have. So if it's money, so maybe start learning about investments, start taking care of the money that you have, maybe start giving back and things like that. If it's time, you're like asking for time, be a good manager of the time that you do have. And there's several other situations like that too. And so then the last thing is life gives us tasks. Hey, Chatty. And these tasks, actually, since I have several people on there, will you guys give me a 1 if you're watching this live and give me a 2 if you're watching the recording? That helps me know the Facebook algorithms and how they're working. So life gives us tasks that we should succeed, and they grow us into the type of person that life can trust with more important things. We often see these tasks as a burden instead of an opportunity to grow our compassion and skill set. It's a grand adventure to turn our intention away from stealing and towards the lifelong tasks of shaping ourselves into someone of value. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. So what it was really saying was, oh, my screen just went black. How long have I been talking? Sorry, guys. The lights are flashing, or we might be about to have a storm. So the thing that is said, I want to make sure I didn't get it. I didn't miss it. Hold on. I might have to leave that off. But basically, if there's something that we want that we're not getting, maybe we've leveled up to only the competency of what we have. And if we want to get more, we need to level up our competency and become a person of value. So I hope that was helpful. I would love to have some comments about your dreams, about some things that you were like, oh my gosh, I was doing that. I didn't even know that I was doing that. Or I hate when people do that to me. And things like that. And I hope you found this informative. This was an amazing chapter, and I'm going to keep reading my book and keep doing my homework. Hi, Caitlin. How are you? Caitlin, will you give me a 1 since you were watching this live? All right. Bye, guys.